both Gabi and Sean Gares take strategies into heavy account. Also think about what the other team is going to do and not just play their own game. And here we have Speedy and a boost in A main. This could be a good opportunity to get an early pick, though. He might get away here. scot-free after doing a lot of damage to Freak.
And we're actually going to have Cloud9 spread out quite a bit here. They're going to have two over towards B, one in the sunroom, one in the hall. Shroud will get a frag through the squeaky door onto Dennis, who's trying to run around there, and nothing actually gets one at B. So now another frag comes out at A. That's going to be Shroud, who picks both of those up in the A bombs. Can he make it 3? Next will stop him, not allow him to get 3, as the bomb is going to rotate back towards the A bomb site. And that would actually pull 2 of the players, or the last 2 from mousesports. They were going to rotate over into the B bomb site until Next heard the terrorist rotating in through A main. He's able to pick up another one. That's nothing down. Can he grab Freakazoid back at the quad? If he has a grenade, he will clean that up. And there is a Molotov left on the board here. Let's see how Chris J chooses to use it, as he is 1v3 now. Trying to get back in. Meets Freakazoid, takes him down. Fakes the sound on the bomb. Gonna look up top on Catwalk is gonna be Sean Gares, and that's gonna be a round for Cloud9 finally ending the dry spell, finally getting themselves a 3rd round.
Yeah, now the thing is that they only did that by mousesports pushing the extremities of the map both at the same time. They had a B push that was pushed. Gabi pushed B right after we had an A main push from Speedy, and both of those kills were picked up immediately. Cloud9 haven't been able to get in the site, like A site as you mentioned, and take it with players waiting for them, apart from that one round, right? So that being said, all mousesports have to do is switch to the passive style that's worked for the last 7 rounds, and Cloud9 had to find a new answer.
At round 13, mousesports are going to be up by 6 rounds in total here. They've officially won the half. They've already been at that point as soon as they had 8 rounds. Now they're just trying to add a couple more to their scoreline here to make it that much harder for Cloud9 to get into this one. Because if this game ends at a 12-3, Cloud9 has very little breathing room here to actually work with. Because, I mean, you drop a pistol at that point, and you have to early buy somewhere in there if you want to fight for the win and not for the tie.
Yeah, I mean, even just looking at the first half, we had Cloud9 win a pistol and get eco'd immediately, so...
Yeah, so you're still not out of the woods yet.
You wouldn't want to rely on that at all, for sure. Yeah.
They have the opportunity to make this a 9-6 half, which wouldn't be horrible. But mousesports is looking good here. They're looking on point. They've already taken down nothing. Initial frag will go in favor of mousesports from the CT side of things. And again, they're stacking 3 in this A bomb site, leaving mid wide open. So let's see what Sean Gares can make happen for his team. He's gonna probably walk right through the smoke. He's able to take down Chris J and the other B player. That is a great entry there. That's a 2K for him, getting the B bomb site secured for his team.
2 kills on the round. Those were extremely big kills, but we have 2 players from mousesports not moving at all. They assumed it was going to be an A play, and they realized Braves haven't rotated, and now they got to deal with the entries. Next, spray him down. Speedy gets a kill too, and now there's only one left. Sean Gares, who got the 2 most important kills on the round, left with no options.
That's heartbreaking. If you're Sean Gares right now, you're able to get your way into the B bomb site. You take down their Opper, you take down Gabi, the B player. You get the entries you need for your team, and they feel like they still want to try and take this A, get the rotate off. It doesn't work. You start throwing flashbangs and smokes, and 2 players are still sitting in the A bomb site. They read it perfectly, and they shut it down. Leave Sean all by himself with no time left on the clock, so he was able to save that rifle, but that's absolutely heartbreaking if you're Cloud9.
That looked like a complete YOLO play, okay? He smoked off B main, and he walked through B main smoke. Why? Because if you smoke off B main, you have a free entrance into Checker, especially if you don't think anybody's there. And so people are going to be watching Checker from site, not constantly watching the B main smoke. So to push right through the B main smoke is so absurd that Sean knew it would work. And he got through the site. He got 2 kills off of it, and because everyone was staged up in A main, he decided just to lay the A take instead of go to B. No, mousesports were too disciplined, didn't move at all. It's pretty amazing.
Into round 14, Cloud9's going to be doing that A strat again, and there's Dennis throwing that same flashbang, and it works again. He's able to line up 2 shots. The flashbang works again from the back of quad, and now that's going to make it into a 3 versus 2 here. Sean Gares and nothing left alive, with Gabi, the only CT alive with a frag in his favor. They're going to be rotating over fully to this bomb site right now. As the bomb's going to go down, that should be Sean Gares being able to get the plant off. Low on HP. No, had to avoid it. Molotov goes down, so now he has to back up for even longer, and nothing's going to try and rotate over to help cover. But Gabi is right there on E-Box. He doesn't see the shoulder, but I know nothing saw him. Doesn't matter, though. Chris J coming up the highway, and Gabi will shut the round down. Gets himself 2, and another A-take attempt from Cloud9. That gets shut down by the man playing from behind. That's
no, the only thing that goes in their favor at this point is the fact that Cloud9 were able to get a bomb plant off.
Yeah.
But even with that, we'll only be able to buy properly next round. So if not for it, would have been in a horrible position, similar to what you would have to do on a pistol if you lost it. And it's at this point that Oh, it is the last round, so they have no choice but to armor pistol here. They won't even be able to save one.
Yeah, this is looking like a rough go of things here. And ever since Cloud9 has been here, I mean, they've only played this map once already, and that was yesterday. This is a Cloud9 map. This is something that we expect them to be playing very well on. And so far, I know we haven't gotten in the second half yet, so we don't know what they're going to be able to put together on CT side. But we normally see them get a ton of rounds on T side of this map, and it hasn't happened. It didn't happen yesterday, and it's not happening now.
Now we have the delayed mid control here from Shroud. He's going to go over boost, and he won't be spotted by any aggression. There's actually players rotating to A, so Sean called something to pull rotations, and it actually worked out really well. Now they're going to have snuck a player out mid like they did with Freakazoid in that one round. Chris J is going to be spotting it actively because he doesn't know what's happened since then. Realizes that A wasn't taken, so maybe something happened at mid, and it's good on him to have that much awareness, but it's at this point that they might have the ability to... Oh my goodness, what a shot from Chris J to shut down Shroud on boost.
Chris J's going to go for the repeat here. He's going to have the back of Sean Garris punish him, able to get another one on a Freakazoid. His op is so fast, he's going to allow Next to rotate in. He's so low on HP, nothing's going to be the last one left alive here. Got to back up over towards the vents, tries to jump up on the box, and Speedy from the bottom of the highway will shut that down. But Chris J out in mid with the 3K op in hand.
Wow.
He's playing slick right now with the op. Fantastic
play from mousesports, so you got to really give it up for them. They did such a great job on that half, just controlling the momentum every single round. Even on that round when Sean was able to call rotates, they had a huge individual play from Chris J at mid, who could have easily been smoked out, gets two huge flicks and a third kill to complement it. After that, just doesn't even repeat, knows that the round's over.
That's a rough looking half there. If you're Cloud9, again, another time on this map, you're having some struggles here. Yesterday it was against CLG. Today it's against mousesports. And I mean, you did sweep the win.
But yesterday it was 12 T rounds versus CLG.
Yeah, that was a 12-3. No, wasn't that? Yeah, it was 12-3 half. Yeah, they had the advantage. They could have closed it down once they made the switch. And I mean, their T side struggling. That's all there is to it. Their T side is not working very well.
Suddenly, I mean, yesterday it was 12 T rounds. Now it's 3 T rounds. Yeah. So what's going to happen on CT? Are they going to suddenly have an amazing CT half? I mean, I could see it happening just because maybe it shouldn't have happened yesterday, right? Yeah. Where they just, for lack of a better, actually I'm not going to say it, but just screwed up that half.
Yeah.
And, yeah, I mean, if you look at the kills, obviously Nex, who we've talked about constantly, 21 efficacy, 16 frags.
No one in double digits for Cloud9. Not a single player in double-digit frags right now.
Wow, yeah.
Next that entire map. 4. I mean, that's in a half. You don't get a Shroud. You don't get a Skadoodle over 10.
Yeah.
I mean, even a nothing. You can't get any of them over 10 frags. They're losing the aim battles right off the bat. And mousesports working the smokes correctly, dropping good flashbangs. And I mean, we watched Dennis do it twice.
Yeah.
That strat that Cloud9 does at the A bomb site, they drop that smoke down for the quad player, and they try and wrap their way around the forklift and try and isolate those guys coming up highway and get that truck, dude. It doesn't work because most of the time that guy tries to rotate from quad back out around the sight box, and that works then because you shut him down. But all Dennis did, pop flash right through the smoke, and he runs in. They're all blind from the side, standing there at the back of forklift, and he just lines up the frags on them. It works twice in a row. It just,
and obviously pivotal rounds.
Reading it perfectly.
Yeah. Now we're going to move into the pistol. Obviously, Cloud9 is they just need to win this, right? This is a pistol that they have to win now, as opposed to a pistol that they want to. Putting them at 13 is going to be a disaster. Now Shroud holding that quad off right now. The solo man at A has a player at highway to help him out. The split is already occurring though.
Yeah, they're going to work their way directly in here. Shroud's going to be trying to come out from quad. Next will get him with the Rec 9 in hand, so that's going to leave Skadoodle, the close man, as his team. All 4 of them are rotating extremely fast here. They're going to get up. Bomb's going to go down. Skadoodle needs to hit that shot on the player trying to run away, and he can't hit it onto him. So now they're going to try and force up in. They still have 1 player at quad. They should be able to mop him up. Freakazoid's able to get that on the next. The A main player they're both still alive. Dennis doesn't go down. He's able to hit a 2-shot onto Skadoodle and Sean Garris before nothing gets Chris J there. So it will be a 2 versus 3 with nothing down to 2 HP. Freakazoid's got to step in. Nothing's able to get a shot. Can they close this down? No, Speedy's going to take nothing out of the round. Freakazoid can't do it, and Speedy will get the 1 versus 2 clutch for mousesports. And they're going to be up 13-3 now. And they needed the pistol round so badly.
No, we could talk about the merits of how close that retake was and how well they actually played it, considering, you know, they were really counting on Shroud to get 2 kills, and once they couldn't do it, bringing it to a 1v1 is pretty impressive. The fact that, you know, Shroud is going to be one of their best anchors, most reliable to get 1 or 2 kills almost every single round, for him to die as a site and have all the pressure put on him to get those kills when they thought it was going to be a B play means that for them to bring it to 1v1s is impressive in itself, but at the end of the day, it's 13-3.
Yeah, and you can see here Cloud9 is on into this round. They're committing into it right now. 2 scouts around, but it's not working out for him. mousesports already has 2 frags. Now a 3rd frag after Dennis drops the touchdown grenade into the mid doors. Dennis is still there fighting, and he gets the shot onto Sean Garris while he was partially blind. So it's just nothing left here. White truck with the scout in his hands. 1v4. The bomb's rotating away from him into the B bomb site. And man, if nothing can't find a really fast shot here, there's no reason to even try and go for this. It's going to be 14-3, and yeah, he's going to back up now. Maybe look down from truck to see if he can catch anybody, but and he will. He actually gets the shot there on the Dennis as the bomb gets planted. So he's just going to try and hold on to this now if he's able to.
Yeah, nice consolation prize. He's going to look to tag up another player here, but I mean, it's at this point, you know, it's like, at what point do you start thinking about the next map? And
yeah,
oh, Speedy answers back.
Yep, the flank.
Scout in the back, and yeah, mousesports knocking on the door. Match point. Have 14 rounds already. Cloud9 invested heavily into that round, and right now don't have much to buy. If they decide to buy, it's, you know, a total tilt decision. But I wouldn't blame them for doing it.
No, you have no cash. You're not really going to be able to put together anything useful here. So at this point, they make the smart call. Sean makes this. All right, guys, we're going to have to save into this one. Maybe upgrade some P250s. It's really cheap that we can do that. Get a flashbang or 2 just to have something in our pocket to help us try and secure a retake if we can even get to that point. But we need to be saving now because we have to fight for the tie.
Yeah.
That's really our only choice.
Yeah. Now, if we look at the posture of the CTs, we have 3 players in the site, all maintaining some sort of crossfire, like no one's out in the open completely. And if mousesports are going to end up edging over towards the site, this is going to benefit them quite a bit. I mean, Cash has a lot of tight angles, really favors the pistols, because if you let them all the way into the site, you can be on default, you can be at quad and peek afterwards, you can be over a truck only showing your head or E-box, and have a lot of options. And it looks like actually both teams are shifting over towards B. So it's interesting reads that we're seeing going on.
Yeah, initially that was towards A, and wow, they're going to be shifting a lot of players over towards the B bomb site right now. We're even having Skadoodle run all the way down through CT from A, and they will get themselves into a 4-man stack here. And Dennis is going to be the first one out. Good flashbang comes in. Nex is able to hit his shot, but answers from nothing. Able to get 2, moves his way into the back of the site. He will be the lone man there now, trying to take down Gobby after he just got a nice frag onto Skadoodle. But he's got to be careful. He's got all these terrorists in his face. He's going to be the last one left alive, and he will go down. Speedy gets 2. To end the round. That's 15-3, and mousesports is now on map point here in map number 1.
Yeah, I appreciate the discipline, though, of not force buying over and over again. With 14-3, you got $2 grand apiece. You're saving for a round where you're not even going to have the guns you want on the following. It's going to be match point. You feel like you're about to lose. You're doing terribly, but you don't force buy. No, you stick with the plan. You wait for next round. You're going to play this back from 15, win every single round out. That's how you're doing it in your head because you have the confidence to do it. And so that does say a lot, but it's going to start here.
So now, possibly the last round of map number 1 between mousesports and Cloud9. mousesports has just been absolutely steamrolling their way through Cloud9. They're actually going to meet right there. Sean Garris is going to meet in the smoke. Might need to get a little bit tighter into it so they don't spot him. And yeah, he's still stuck though. He's running into terrorists. He's got to get his way around. Able to take down Gobby. That's going to be the bomb drop. That might be the start that he needed until Dennis grabs another frag and he goes down. And Sean Garris, they still don't know he's back there. He's able to get the flag on next. And Skadoodle comes in to remove Speedy. They're staying alive in this unless Chris J can come up with something huge here. And he's going to get picked up by Skadoodle. And just like that, Cloud9 stays in this game. They don't want to give up.
Well played. And if they had those those force buys over and over again, they would have not had a chance in that round. Now they had 2 players in the B site. It's not typical to do that right off the gate, right out the gate, excuse me. But they had Sean Garris lurking through that smoke. There's no way they would have assumed he was there, and he worked it beautifully. He got the first kill. He got the second without anyone looking at him, and that's the beauty of having good positional play and being a smart player. He really showcased that in that round, just like he did with that smoke going in to be as a terrorist. Playing really heads up right now.
There was a ton of luck involved in that one. Able to just move his way into the smoke, make that happen, but he didn't run. He didn't try and force the issue, didn't randomly start spamming through it, just kept his head on his shoulders, moved around through it, eventually worked his way out of it, and lined it up. And mousesports apparently is not on Ventrilo right now, whatever their comm issue is. Yeah, Ventrilo. But
Yeah, bad days.
they didn't make the call fast enough. They allowed Sean to pick up a ton of frags. As just like that now, the momentum is shifting here quite a bit in favor of Cloud9 as they're able to get some good frags. That's Freakazoid, Skadoodle, Shroud with 2, leaving Speedy left by himself over at the B bomb site. They have the bomb down at A. And man, I really don't want them to hunt here. There's no reason to go for it. Save those guns. Make sure you can hold on to it. You need all the cash that you can get here, and luckily they are not hunting for it. They're just taking up good positions and nothing with a great one out in mid in case Speedy tries to go that direction. I don't think he will. I think he's just want to sit back in mid here, hold on to his AK, as this round will be another round in favor of Cloud9. That's 5 in total now.
Yeah, I'm going to read a book. I'll be right back.
And just going to hang out, just going to wait for this one to go. But man, that was the kickstart Cloud9 needed right there.
Yeah,
Sean
absolutely.
Garrett, that was huge for his team that last round.
Yeah, even that round in A was just beautiful teamwork. They had great crossfires. They all got their trades. Basically, everybody who was shot in the side of the head.
Yeah.
So they were trying to look at somebody else and get a trade frag, and then got refragged by another Cloud9 member. So overall, just did a fantastic job. And at this point, mousesports are going to take this very seriously. I'm sure they're thinking about what to do. And oh my goodness, the time's about to run out, and they might be able to kill Speedy after the clock. No, he does find a frag, but there's another player close by.
Yeah, and that was a lot of spam damage going out from nothing right there. Spamming through that wall, and Speedy started to make a little bit of noise, so I thought nothing had picked up on it. Like, oh, he's right here, literally right behind this wall. I need to go get him. And he kind of leaked around a little too hard, though. Got punished for it and goes down. But they did win the round. Does have enough money to get a full buy out of this one. And they're only down by 10 rounds now.
Yeah.
And that's not even a win either. That's 10 rounds to get them to overtime to fight for the win. And this might be too big of a hill to climb here if you're Cloud9. As mousesports going to be onto a save, though. Essentially a save with some armor and Rec 9s coming out from them.
Yeah, they have definitely invested heavily in this round. Next actually finds a pick by himself with the Tech 9 moving into Checker. That's going to open up the site, but Cloud9 need to stay patient at this moment. They've got 2 players at A and one moving over towards B. That leaves mid wide open, but there is no one from mousesports looking to take it there. And Speedy is already exiting the site. Shroud gets a kick first, full blind, actually gets traded out instantly. And Skadoodle back at quad has an op, but he's not being able to make do with it.
Yeah, Gabi right there. Getting a nice frag, able to get it in there. It's going to be a 3-on-2 now. This could be the last round. Chris J's got to get out of that Molotov, burning right at the end. He goes down to 50 HP. Next is at 50 HP. Gabi at 96. They're all going to be rotating there. It's going to be up to Sean Garrett and Freakazoid to get this retake. Sean Garrett is possibly going to go through the smoke. No, he gets caught out by Chris J. Now it's all up to Freakazoid. Can he get the pistol frag? And he can't do it. Mousesports will get map number 1, 16-5 over Cloud9. And just when we thought Cloud9 was going to battle their way back into that one and have a good showing after a great play by Sean Garrett, it just wasn't enough. The boost wasn't enough for them. They couldn't get the momentum rolling back in their favor, and mousesports took that one home.
Mouse have to be pleased with that result. It was a dominant performance on a map that you can't sleep on this team on, and they just played lights out the entire time. Even when, that last round occurred and Sean had that great round, and they all played as a team to follow up to win 2 in a row.
Yeah.
Mouse won it on an ego. They forced up and had no problem doing so. So, I mean, overall, just didn't really look like they were in trouble at any point.
Yeah, I mean, that's 2 times in a row now. Yesterday and today that we've seen Cloud9 struggle on cash, and they went for it again. Maybe they're like, okay, we figured out what we had issues with last night, and we're going to be good, and we're going to be much better on it today. And that didn't happen. And realistically, the biggest rounds that they had there, the big, oh my goodness, they're bringing this back, were all big hero plays, individual hero plays coming out. They're just not working like the Cloud9 team that we've seen on Cash before. They're not able to put it together right now. And when they do go forward out of this, whether or not it's with a win or a loss, they're going to have to play another match. We really need them to, at this point, just avoid cash. I would avoid it. I wouldn't even go near it right now.
From this tournament.
It's not working right now. You go home, figure out what you need to figure out, practice some more on it, because right now it's falling apart. Everyone's reading you. They're playing it better. And I mean, all they really had was the
So the one advantage both these teams have over each other is the amount of times that they haven't really played.
Yeah.
So that is one thing. You can watch as many demos as you want.
Yeah.
But not actually playing the team could be a huge disadvantage. And it will just work in the favor of whoever would have worked against them without the anti-stratting right off the bat. Maybe Mouse just has a better matchup for them stylistically than they would for Mouse. So going into that match, we saw that round and round again. Now, we found out that Cash isn't a map that works.
Yeah.
Are we going to find out that it's just the team style that's going to be a problem for them? And we will find out on map 2, but there's going to be a little bit of time before then. So.
Yeah, and I mean, realistically, I don't even think it's the team style, because Mouse and CLG are vastly different teams. They play different styles, and I mean, it's just CLG figured out what they needed to figure out to prevent Cloud9 from getting into that A bomb site fast and controlling mid, not allowing B to get opened up at all. And again, mousesports did it in their own way, and this time they shut down A, they shut down mid, and they had B shut down too. So it's just the way that both of these teams play. They're completely different, but it's still, they figured it out much faster than Cloud9 figured out how to adjust against mousesports or CLG.
All right. Now we're going to send it down to our analysts for some in-depth post-game analysis. And yeah, so back to them.
All right, thank you very much, guys. Wow. I mean, you guys did say that this was going to be a close matchup.
We both said mousesports win it.
Yeah.
On cash.
But did you even think like that? I mean, that was a thrashing.
I mean, the problem with that as well was that was totally different from even yesterday's script. It's not like you can go, well, you know, they did almost lose to CLG on it, so maybe mousesports saw something there, because actually mousesports did their work on CT side in general. Whereas yesterday it was a really strong Cloud9 T half. That's how it started, you know. So it was a totally different game even to that. You have to look at it though, and I mean, first of all, the stars from Cloud9 didn't show up in this game. Yep. They just didn't. I mean, Skadoodle had ops again and again and again, and he just didn't do a whole lot with them. He would just get one kill in a round. He had that ridiculous round that I think we're probably going to highlight later, where he was winning a 1v3, and then he jumped and unnecessarily died in the 1v1 and actually allowed the other guy to just win by defuse. Shroud really struggled. He just didn't look on it. And meanwhile, over at mousesports, Nex was just there consistent, fragging. It was all going well.
I think Chris J is the player I want to talk about. Like, we were talking about how Chris J might not be the greatest on land. You call him inconsistent. I think he played very solid the first map, and I think if he's able to bring that, you know, that same kind of power to Dust 2, Cloud9 is going to have a big problem. And as we were talking about before, I think Legia found out exactly how to stop Cloud9's T side, and that's probably, I mean, they were looking at their T side yesterday. They saw exactly how they did it, and they were able to counter it, I think.
See, the problem with that as well is remember, this is supposed to be the home map of Cloud9, and then in the home map, they're supposed to get the work done on T side. That's the sort of team they are. The anti-strat, they're good tactically. It wasn't working. I mean, I have to say, in this particular game, it wasn't just like, it's true, the stars weren't there, his tools weren't there, but I don't think Sean was reading the game particularly well. Like, if this was an anime, okay, at the end of this episode, before the exciting next map where they play, like, basically, like, Sean Gares would just be saying, like, God B, I don't know what happened. I studied all your tactics. It should have worked. And God B would just say, I know. I know.
I mean, even then, I don't feel like Cloud9 really did that much to counter them. It looked like they were just playing like standard. I don't know if they either didn't have demos they wanted to watch, or they just thought they didn't have to watch demos.
Cloud9 totally threw off my expectations that I said before the game. Remember I said, like, you're not going to see force-ups in this one. You're not going to see these low econ buys. Cloud9, when they were really behind on their T side, just started doing full Deagle and Tech9 armor buys. You almost never see that from Cloud9. Here's the thing, right? People have to understand it's the armor that's crucial there. Because if you're going to save, it's true, you don't usually just save with Glock. You might buy a Tech9, that's fine. What you're saying there is, I'm not going to win the round, but I might get a kill, might be able to do something here, maybe be able to get the bomb down. When you buy armor, you're basically saying, I'm just doing a full buy now. I'm buying everything I can. I'm buying armor, nades, and a Tech9. So what you're saying there is, I'm going to win this round. So usually when you do that, it's because you've got a very specific, good tactic in mind that's going to work. Because that's actually just doubling down. You're not actually saving at that point. It looks like you actually got a pistol. You're just doubling down with all your economy. Like, this is all I can buy. We're going to buy and win. And they didn't have a chance on some of those rounds there.
Yeah. So next map is going to be Dust 2. You know,
and suddenly mousesports is like, hey, we're in a position to win this whole series 2-0 suddenly.
Yeah, and that game isn't a close game where Cloud9 go, okay, man, wow, we almost got it. That round, that round, and we're done. So, like, this is that untilt yourself, reset yourself.
That's the thing. The whole team's tilted. Because the thing is, what level can I even say something positive on? Because it went so badly on T side, I can't really be like, Sean was reading the game well, they just didn't execute. It looked like he was really off. And then I actually prefer in a loss to at least have one star get going. If like Skadoodle hit everything but everyone else dies and he was trying to carry but he couldn't, you could be like, okay, we take that in the next map. The others fix it, but you know, we know Skadoodle's rolling. No one's going at the moment. I mean, if you were those guys there as well, obviously you're not going to lose faith in Sean Gares. It's one map. It's not the end, you know. But again, it was our home map, and that's what we were supposed to do. We started T-side. That's ideal for us. I mean, if I was some of the stars there, you almost could blame Sean Gares, you know. I mean, Shroud could be like, I was shot to the heart, and you're to blame. We just gave the NA scene a bad name.
I think
I might do that again
Bon
later.
Jovi to our
If
list.
they lose another one, I might do that later. Okay,
I think
so,
to give Cloud9 a little bit of props, I think even if Sean is having a bad day and he is not able to read mousesports very well, I think fortunately for them, Dust 2 is the map they would want to play if that's the case. Like
go away from executes, yeah.
Right, exactly. Just, I mean, the American kind of style of play. Go back to like the Semphis kind of thing where you just go out mid every round, mid B on Dust 2.
Go back to the Semphis stuff. Maybe they're on Skype right now. Corey, we need you. One last team talk, bro. Finally, it's like you know when like the two bad guys like they never work together, but they have to join forces to beat the Russians or something. In this case, beat the Germans. You know. World War II throwback there, so you know.
I feel like you'd be one of the Russians in this case, though. Just the
I'm the
bad
British.
guy.
Me. I'm going to go and help them now. Me, Corey, the Canadians and the Brits will help the Americans finally get over the hump. Well, we've already got a Canadian there as well, Shroud.
Nice. Well, we got some highlights, so let's go ahead and roll. The first one is going to be round 6.
I'm guessing most of them are going to be from mousesports here.
Yeah, this is a nice 3K by Dennis, I believe.
And that's another thing to point out, by the way. Dennis and Speedy, they're not stars. You don't think of them as the highlight players. Next was doing work, but Dennis had some pretty nice rounds in this game, and in this site particularly, this was the story of their CT half.
Yep.
When Cloud9 would do their execute into the site, they would just be getting crossfired down, and 3 guys would just die immediately every time. They never got control of it in that sense.
I mean, the funny thing I think about that play specifically is that's what we actually saw Skadoodle do yesterday with his op. He got smoked off, he threw a flash, he went through it with an op and was able to kill 2. Now we see Dennis throw the flash, go through the smoke toward the door, and spray down 3 guys at forklift, not even expecting it at all.
Yeah. And we have another one. This is at round 15, 3 kill by Chris J. Also,
the second
sweet.
kill especially was pretty. Yeah. It was like really quick. It was close range where he's going to die if he doesn't get it.
Give us the nice little flick here, Chris J.
Give it that flick of that wrist. What, you don't appreciate that? You ready? You ready? Hiko's enjoying that. Yeah, I'm glad the camera's on. I was like, no. Like this third one here, watch.
Back to us.
You're dead if you don't get that. He was on 20 health at that point.
He got blind the last second too.
Yeah, yeah. No, that was all. Flick of that wrist. Yeah. You see no one from mousesports even dies in that round.
Yeah. Pretty just standard round. Chris J
And
just keep
remember,
repeaking.
think of the expectations that set up. Like, okay, Nex and Shroud, yeah, they can both go back to back, head to head, the 2 leaders. But one area I thought we'd definitely have a disparity is, come on, Skadoodle versus Chris J. Especially because actually Chris J's style of firing, he's like that Makaleli style, like it's like repeats really quick firing. Skadoodle, actually, the counter to that is the Skadoodle style. It's where you set up, you take your angle, and you wait for that guy to peek in you.
Yep.
And you're really fast as well, Skadoodle. In theory, you should be eating that guy up, but Skadoodle really struggled on this game, and he never got it kick-started at any point in time. Even when towards the end they got some rounds, they were so far behind at that point. It was nothing more than like a little bit of consolation. The crowd went crazy for like 1 round, but no one really believed it was coming back.
Okay, well, we're going to take a quick commercial break. When we come back, we will talk a little bit more about Dust 2, and then we'll get this one going. We'll see if Cloud9 can tie it up, or if mousesports will actually 2-0 these guys. Battle of the #1 team in North America and mousesports continues after this break. All right, folks, welcome back to the MLG Arena here for the CEVO Season 7 LAN Finals. Right in the middle of Cloud9 mousesports. mousesports has a 1-0 lead going into Dust 2. So, what does Cloud9 have to do? Is it all on them, or do they need some failure by Mouse as well?
I think it's a little bit of both. As we said before, I think Cloud9's CT side of Dust 2 has been historically good as long as Skadoodle is able to get his picks at long A. I think, again, if mousesports watched even a single Cloud9 demo on Dust 2 on their CT side, they'll know that Skadoodle plays the same spot every single round. And even when people know he plays there, he still is able to get 2, 3, sometimes even 4 kills. So I think it's going to be important for Cloud9 to maybe use him more dynamic than usual. Put him towards B, put him in mid. Don't keep him long every round. And hopefully mousesports going to run into the trap and Ska's able to get early picks every round.
I mean, I do agree with Hiko. In a way, it's actually turned out in Cloud9's favor that we're going to Dust 2, because if the tactics aren't going that great, this is a great jumpstart map. You play a bit of free-for-all, just go on aim. Let's get into some chaotic situations. Let's try and just kill them. I think it has to be Skadoodle, though, because on this sort of a map, if he can anchor a site, now you've got a dynamic where the enemy has to make a choice, then he has to try and fake out that site. If he attacks it, he has to attack with all of his equipment to get in. If Skadoodle has the same problems he had in that game there, this is going to be a 2-0 for mousesports. So I think it's on the stars of Cloud9, and they got the step up initially, because it might not be a Sean Gares show again. He might not have to read the whole game, but we need some fragging. Someone's got to deliver frag-wise.
Are we still going to map 3? Not that you can change your predictions, but
in
I'll
general,
let you get muddy if you need
here's
to.
the thing. In general, I don't like to switch just because like the first one was a landslide, because usually I go map by map. Like I think it does reset for great teams after maps. The problem is I never thought mousesports was a huge underdog on Dust 2 anyway. I always thought that was like close to a 50-50. That's why I thought it was dangerous to let Cash be the first map. That's why if I'm Cloud9, I said I would have picked Cobble second myself and kind of had my home that I'm pretty sure I'm going to win this. So the way it's going right now, it feels like Mouse probably are going to win it. I think maybe so, but I think this should be a really close map. This should be like the 16-12, 16-13 realm. This should not be a landslide by any stretch of the imagination. And again, can you really have 2 maps in a row where neither Shroud or Skadoodle show up? It seems unlikely. Yeah. So I figure at least one's going to get going. Hopefully Skadoodle, and then we'll have a good game. Then we'll have a real back and forth. I want to actually see the in-game leaders have the tactical battle, whereas beforehand, we got nothing from T-side, and then we never even got to really even see the Mouse T-side because they won so many on CT. So I've been delayed the exciting thing that I thought about this, the battle of the tacticians.
Yeah, your thoughts on that?
I don't think Dust 2 would be the map that Thorin wants to see. I don't think that the battle of the tacticians will see Dust 2.
Yeah.
I don't think, at least historically for North American teams, Dust 2 has been the map where we are able to beat European teams because we feel at home on that map. We know exactly what to do. We know the smokes. Everybody we out of all the maps in the pool, Dust 2 is the map that all Americans play the most. So that should someone like Shroud who likes to pug a lot, he should feel the most comfortable in Dust 2. Obviously Skadoodle, we said earlier, Dust 2 is his favorite map. Sean, I mean, he's been playing Counter-Strike since 1.6, 1.5 days, so he's been playing Dust 2 forever. So I think as far as, the puggy style of play, I think if Cloud9 starts to go down because they're trying to do executes, that's when their kind of primal instincts will kick in and they'll go into, the other mode where they should be able to beat mousesports. I'm going to keep my prediction. I think we're going to a map 3, and I still think Cloud9 has this.
Okay, you're sticking with yours. Thorin is...
It's very rare, though, even in these big tournaments that you've seen, that Cloud9 get down big in maps, it feels. It feels actually they're doing a job of front running. They usually have the measure of the teams they've been playing, these European teams, and they kind of get on them early. And then that team sometimes comes back, but then it's like, can we close it out late, etc. What they can't allow to happen, because mousesports is on like the free roll now, mousesports can't lose on this map. So as a result, if anything, they can do what they want here. And if they get an early lead going, that's where we're going to see pressure for Cloud9 the first time early in the tournament. Remember, this isn't the semi-finals, this isn't the final, this is even in the group stage. And whoever wins this, obviously, if mousesports win this map, you're in the semi-finals already. So if I'm mousesports, I'm going to play very free here. I'm not going to be at all pressured. I think of Cloud9, there's a lot of pressure to just get this now and make this a 3-map series, because they don't want to be going back down into the lower bracket, suddenly having to battle with the other NA teams.
No, yeah, I think definitely, mousesports is in the driver's seat. Mousesports can do whatever they want, and if they're able to win rounds, great. If they lose rounds, unfortunate. But they still have that extra map cushion where if things aren't going their way, they always have the map 3 where, they could still come back from it. So I think that style of play, Cloud9 should. I'm expecting mousesports to get really aggressive, really in their face. Same thing, flashing through the smokes, picking a lot with the op. And if Cloud9's players are not able to, as you said, step up, the Shroud, the Skadoodle, the Nothing, if they aren't able to, find their form early, they might just kind of, lose track of this.
And that's an example, actually, that first map of what we've kind of been talking about, the dynamic of Shroud, which is, it sounds weird, but okay, in the final against Fnatic, when he was like dropping 30 kills, 28 kills on maps, people felt like, because they were losing, wow, he's in elo hell, he's this amazing player and his teammates aren't stepping up. Yeah, in a way they aren't, but they were facilitating him getting those kills.
Yep.
Them freakers are going in there, getting attention, maybe doing some damage to a guy, was then setting up Shroud to get that kill. When the rest of the machine isn't working and Shroud's left on his own, obviously that was a big underperformance there, but he's not going to be the same 30 frag guy. He needs those guys to facilitate his greatness, so that's a problem for him. I'm sure he's going to get his frags this time, but I don't think he's going to be hitting those 30 numbers unless Freakazoid or Nothing, one of them is able to do something, is able to create space for him to come into and get the trade kill. Just do what he does, You can't put him just going into a site with 3 guys there waiting, tracked on the corner where he's going to come in, But then again, though, I also don't expect... That's why I don't think it'll be as convincing, because not only did the Cloud9 stars underperform, but the role players from mousesports overperformed. Yep. They were up there with Next. They were like 18 kills, 19 kills. That's not supposed to happen from the support players, so I don't expect that to happen again. I think they will level out a bit, and then hopefully it'll be like a Next, Skadoodle, Shroud show, and then we'll see those guys really show us how good they are.
And as you can see, we still have there's obviously some sort of issue happening with a couple of the mousesports guys. And again, this kind of works in Cloud9's favor. The more time they have between that loss and to kind of reset and settle, and the opposite for the mousesports, the longer they wait, they lose this adrenaline rush, this momentum of this thrashing. So it's gonna be interesting to see how this Dust 2 turns out. I think it's a sound issue, Chris J, but looks like they're working on it. See some admins up there.
And the other thing is, in another series, okay, if you win your map, even if it was a strong one for the opponent, you win yours, sometimes you're like, listen, again, like, no pressure, let's just try and win their map. Well, because in theory, this map is a strong one for you, if you're mousesports, you actually don't have to think like, oh, they're probably good, they might win theirs, it doesn't matter. You have to actually think, no, we should win this. We should close it out, because don't even let it get close. We stomped in the first one, get on them early, doesn't even have to matter. I think for Cloud9, this is actually weirdly one of the hardest tests I've seen in this latest run. They never really seemed to be truly tested beforehand in those 3 finals runs until the final maps, until the opponent was up on them 2-0, 2-1, 1-0, whatever, and had them against the wall. That's when they had the times, and that's when sometimes they looked like they choked. Otherwise, they've always been in the driving seat against these teams. They've always gotten the first map on them. They've always been up. They've always picked correctly, read them correctly. Everything's gone right in a way. But when you really see if a team's going to be a champion, that's when you see it's like the adversity, how do they come through that? We saw teams like Virtus Pro. They're supposed to be in a slump, right? They're not supposed to be good, and they just come here, top-ranked team, blow them up 2-0 straight away on their maps.
Yeah, and I think actually if you look historically before this roster, like that's kind of where, like even when I was on the team, that's where we strive. Like that's where most of our success came from the lower side, came from being in like the under pressure situation. We'd go down like 1-0 and we come back and win it. Like we'd lose early in the tournament, we come back through the lowers and grind all the way out to as far as we can make it. So while I do think that there's a lot of pressure on C9, I still think that it's not going to be overwhelming. I still think that they have enough experience and enough personal experience within the Counter-Strike scene that they're able to actually grind through this.
And actually, off the top of my head, during the three tournament span, I don't think they've ever lost the first map of a series and won it. I think all of them, they won the first map that they won. So yeah, so it's not a good sign, but hey, just something to track there. Let's see if that ends up being the result, or maybe this is one where they come back, at least we get a third map. I actually hope just for the second series we get a third map, because the first one wasn't very convincing. That wasn't the classic, great matchup of every single aspect that we were hoping for. Like really great team, mousesports found a way to deal with them. It was more like mousesports had their approach, and C9 was floundering. I mean, if we could have heard the comms there, I imagine it might have been like yesterday. Sean Gare's like, I don't know what to do.
Yeah.
There's no answers. Dobbe looks pretty focused here.
And again, as we always talk about,
maybe he's not even in warm-up now. Maybe he's just like, that's how he even like sets his cursor on his mouse.
He's on Henry
sharp angles.
He's on Henry G's Easy Skin site, doing a little lottery winning. So we always talk about what separates a good team from a great team is not only like maybe coming back after a bad first half, but coming back after a bad first map. So this is the kind of test that Cloud9 needs. Can they come back after a loss like that and win the series, or at least tie it up? We're gonna find out. Here we go, map 2. Take it away, gentlemen.
Thank you guys very much. We're about to get into it now. mousesports versus C9, map number 2, Dust 2. Do they have it in them, Launders? Can C9 pull this one back out?
This is going to be an absolute test of resilience. Cloud9 are down a map, as Thorin mentioned. Typically in history, they've won the first map when they've won a series. It's going to be really tough. It's going to be a true test of their ability to stay strong mentally, right? And even though it's going to be a new map, it's going to be their choice. They should be favorites on it. It's going to be mousesports with nothing to lose. They're going to be able to play free, take a lot of risks, and if Cloud9 are going to be able to shut them down when they take those risks, then we might see a momentum shift. Then we might see Cloud9 take control of the half, lead it over into the second, take the map, and then think about map 3. But until then, it's going to start with a pistol, and it couldn't have come at a more crucial time.
Yeah, and we're actually delayed now. We're into a pause. It looks like Chris J is having to restart real quick. So hopefully we can get that sorted out and get this thing going back underway. And it's going to be interesting to see if Cloud9 could really pick up the pieces here, because this, as they were talking about down at the desk, this is more of a North American map. We play it so much here. Yeah. It's in every pug. Everybody knows everything there is to know about Dust 2. So it definitely kind of favors us a little bit just because of that, and our play style works well on this map.
Now, after watching Cloud9 play at ESWC, one of their greatest strengths, I feel like, on this map especially, is their ability to play 2-1-2, get away with it almost every single time. As Hiko and Thorin were talking about, we have Scudo he's going to be playing Markolov every single round. Mousesports know that. But the difficult part is stopping him, okay? That's one of the strongest angles for him. It's his favorite map. So he can play that spot confidently and always get kills. And that's going to be really difficult. So the other thing is that you can have Freakazoid on a couple of those key rounds, rotate over to Goose, and support him if it keeps ending up being a split A, a 3-2A, or whatever it is that Mouse wants to do. But because Cloud9 are playing this 2-1-2 setup, mid to B is almost never a good option. So that's going to limit them to taking A, and because Cloud9 are confident having Shroud as a long anchor and Skadoodle playing car, it's going to be basically it's going to be basically mousesports having to bash their head into a wall and hopefully get through it.
Yeah, but we did see them adjust very well on a map that should have been a C9 map. I feel like the adjustments, they should be made by mousesports on this one. They adjusted so well and so fast to how C9 was playing, and they terrorized them. They just absolutely took them to the brink, and there was nothing C9 could do to get themselves back into that game.
No, you're right.
Except for that big play from Sean.
Yeah, we constantly saw, if we looked at the mini-map, that Gabi was in Sean Garrett's heads on a lot of those rounds, right? The mid-control when they needed it, to break their economy on a round that couldn't have been more important, and straight up having 2 players in A when it was going to be an A hit, a round where Sean Garrett gets 2 entries at B, no one's making a sound in A main, and there are 2 players in A site, 2 of 3 players left on the map standing strong in the site waiting. And
they read that play perfectly. And that was one of the big ones, that it was just a gigantic heartbreaker if you're Cloud9, because that could have been so easy to rotate out of that one. You have Sean just rotate his way right into Creeper, play the van, catch the initial rotator. By that time, the other 2 are coming over, and you have that 3-on-2 now, and it just, man, that was heartbreaking. But this is a new map. We're going again here. It's a best-of-3 series between these 2 teams. mousesports took map number 1 in a very dominant fashion. And let's see if mousesports can do it again here, but it's all going to start with this pistol round. mousesports trying to grab this one away from Cloud9. We're going to actually have Speedy very aggressive here. Pop Flash comes in. He needs to hit one of these shots. Can't do it. Has to rotate back out. His teammates got to come protect him so he doesn't just get easily mopped up. And Sean Garris is able to get him trying to jump into the pit. Now they're going to force their way up long. Gabi's right there trying to get away. Freakazoid trying to get on top. He can't sound Crease J. There goes Gabi. And Shroud removes him from the round, and that is going to be just next. And Dennis left alive here, 2 versus 5.
Completely brutalized on that round. Almost no chance to retake here. If Shroud goes down and ends up being some sort of close round, I'll be shocked. And 1 player goes down, next takes him down, but he's down to 39 himself and isn't a 1v4. Skadoodle can clean this up with a teammate's jumping Glock. Will it happen? No, nothing. Comes through and finds the second frag.
Yeah, that's the exact kind of round that if you're Cloud9 that you need to get going with here. You need to get a big pistol in your favor. Even more importantly now is the fact we gotta win this anti-eco. We can't let that happen to us. We can't get ecoed here by mousesports and just let them run away with the rounds. So this will be big.
There's nothing more sensitive right now than these first 2 rounds. Going the way of Cloud9 is huge. They're gonna have the momentum shift back in their favor, have mousesports play their game. It's what they need. And we have the counter buyout for mousesports. Obviously, just came off a dominant map. It's a map that's very easy to eco. They're very good with pistols, but there's an opening pick going both ways. Actually, next finds 1. Freakazoid finds a second, and they're getting in the site.
Avoids the grenade. Finally goes down at the end of it. Shroud's able to pick him up, and that's going to make this a 2 versus 3 now. with Skadoodle all the way back towards T-spawn. He's getting pushed here. Gabi is going to be pushing right towards him. Skadoodle here did, and Gabi doesn't get the shot. He will remove him. He's going to be able to pick up that scout now, and that makes it a 3-on-2. As Skadoodle's out of the way, Sean Garrers with 2 HP left alive. Sean Garrers might go down, doesn't fall. Shroud will get him, and that's going to be Gabi left alive now by himself. Trying to jump scout into B-tons. No one's going to exit in that direction, so he will be able to save the scout for his team. But Shroud with a 3K against the ecoing mousesports.
Yeah, I really love if you know that the team is probably going to play standard and B up to 1 or 2 players, you're still going to have a better time getting in versus pistols, right, with your rifles, and you're going to avoid the scouts, which you know that mousesports are going to try to utilize to their maximum advantages by playing mid or playing long or playing cat. So staying away from A in that situation is very smart. I think it was a great idea to go B. Even though they lost 2 players, they come out ahead for sure.
Gonna get into round 3 here. Cloud9 still with the gun advantage. As you can see, though, we have the 2 MPs, we got the AK, and it looks like the rest of the team is just gonna go pistol armor. The guys that died, so Skadoodle with pistol armor. We're gonna pistol armor coming out from nothing. As the scout still was saved, gets dropped right back into the hands of Chris J. Gabi is going to be very aggressive out in mid. Same with one of his teammates. They're pushing off catwalk, and that was who was that was with him? Chris J was super aggressive. They're going to try and collapse on long here. That's going to be Gabi trying to go, and Shroud will shut him down at long. Now Chris J with the scout. Smoke wall is out, and that is easily going to allow Cloud9 to get into that A bomb site with no one there to try and prevent this from happening. Speedy will go down to Freakazoid. That'll turn this into a 5-on-3 with looks like all 3 of the counter-terrorists trying to work up catwalk at the moment.
Yeah, and because they picked up a scout and an AK, or they saved that scout from last round, they're just going to run away with it and save and allow Dennis to maybe sit here. Look for an exit frag if possible, but we already have a Cloud9 members dispersing throughout the map, and
wow.
Dennis does actually find a frag, and that's huge. With that USB, is going to knock down quite a bit of equipment value there. Does get shot in the head a little bit, and Skadoodle will finish him off with the body tap.
Yeah, Skadoodle going to kind of sit here and hope that maybe something could be blown up in his direction. No, he's just going to go down all the way in the pit. I don't think he was able to grab a gun. And ooh, nothing. Almost could have got it cleaved right there by Nex, but no. It's going to be... Oh, Nex doesn't even get to save the AK shot. Garrus comes from behind through T-spawn and will get it out of his hands.
Oh, that's an enormous pickup.
Oh, yes.
Not saving an AK is huge. Like, that's an entire rebuy right there, and that's going to mean that mousesports' entire lineup is going to be relatively low. Chris J, however, has picked up a scout, and for that reason save money, but at the same time has a scout, and that's a disadvantage in itself. So this is a great opportunity for Cloud9 to make it 5-0. If they're able to win this round, an opening pick goes their way.
Yeah, nothing. Able to open that up. Able to take down Speedy. Gonna spam the smoke just in case anybody's there. That's Freakazoid trying to work that one. And he actually goes down to the scout at Chris J. So evening things back out at 4-4 before Shroud removes Gabi, though. That's gonna help out a lot. You can see if Shroud, he's got one more to beat. That guy's already dropped all the way down into CT spawn. Nex is right there. His teammates are rotating over. Dennis behind him. And Chris J looks like he's gonna try and make his way up cat, or are they just going to commit to the save again here? It looks like they have players backing off, and yeah, they're just going to commit to this save. I'm going to try and go for this here. Chris J going to try and find somebody on the cross. Can't hit the shots, though, as it would be a 3-man retake attempt against Skadoodle and Shroud with full HP. Sean Garrus down to 32, Shroud down to 32 now. So the scout shots are hitting. Chris J finally gets a frag with it, though, onto Shroud. Not going to be able to get over there and grab that gun, though. That's going to make this 4-0 in favor of Cloud9.
Yeah, that's an excellent start to the half so far, and mousesports opting to save in this situation is pretty much the only decision they could make. I mean, looking at their economy, because Chris J saved that extra couple grand, they're going to be able to buy behind these two rifles. Maybe have one person force. Chris J might throw this op away for, or scout away, excuse me, for an op, and that could be a lot of good for them. Actually, he's actually just going to drop a rifle. Could have bought an op, dropped the scout, but is confident with this scout in his hands, and I don't blame him. He is pretty good with it.
I mean, he got damage on the 4 players, ended up getting the frag on only one of them, and Skadoodle almost gets naded out right there. Luckily, the other nade lands a little bit too far back, only goes down to 59 HP and gets away for the time being. But Cloud9 looking to try and stay perfect here against the guns of mousesports, even though it's not a perfect buy coming out from them. Chris J with the scout, got B with only a FAMAS here. So, and they have the 3 silent M4, so it's really going to be on the shoulder of those guys with the silent M4s to get some guns down that they can swap into and really try and get a round going here in favor of mousesports finally. Yeah,
there's a lot of pressure right now on Speedy as he's the man anchoring long, and they've got a player at watching car, but he only has a scout. You know, that's not enough. That's not a one-shot kill. We saw that, why that doesn't work last round, and here we have him push out. Nothing does a lot of damage, but nothing takes him down. And now there's 2 players along who are going to take a fight. Chris J, will he go down?
Wow, he hits the shot either way. Oh my goodness, Gabi right there to clean something up. That's going to be Sean Gare's got one. Gets traded out quickly. Freakazoid makes it all the way up to the bomb site. Got to look down long, trying to find the shot on the guy on ramp. Dennis is right there. He will go down. Nex is also... actually, Nex is still up here. He's going to be in a tough position, though. Can he get the shot? And he will get the shot. Secure the round with 2 at the end of that, getting himself the 3K mousesports on the board.
Yeah, huge play from him. That round almost fell apart. Freakazoid, we witnessed Freakazoid with some really great recoil control there, turned his fail spray into a one-tap, but ultimately it wasn't enough. mousesports put a round on the board. They have an op in their hands now that used to be owned by Skadoodle,
yes.
And that's a huge advantage coming into this one, as they really didn't even have that last round. So now Chris J is going to be pushing up Cat with the op. He's actually going to stay pretty passive here, and we will see a lot more dynamic CT setups from mousesports, stuff that we won't see from Cloud9, and that can mean different things depending on how much effort Cloud9 put into looking for information before they execute.
Oh, Chris J, great opener there at long, able to take down Shroud into round 6. mousesports, if they can string together 2 round wins, that's going to be big for them to see if they can keep it going. Skadoodle, though, able to get the battle with Chris J and get the victory out of that one. That will even it up at 4-4 now. He's going to continue to push it. That's going to be Freakazoid trying to work his way up the ramp. Speedy's right there trying to find the headshot. Can't get it yet. Speedy buying a lot of time for his team, though. Eventually gets the frag with just a FAMAS. Has to pull out the pistol, go for the reload. Sean Gares is right there now, too. The double op. Look, Skadoodle will get one, but the boost comes back up. Is Sean Gares going to be ready for it? No, he's not. And Dennis is able to pick that frag up. Still going to be fighting here, trying to get nothing. Runs out of ammo. Nothing will get that frag. And there goes Gabi. And that is a round back in favor of Cloud9 now. And they're going to reset the economy of mousesports.
Well played. Finding a hole in the defense, getting that refrag on Chris J was absolutely crucial. He threw a flash, Skadoodle ate it, still took the shot, and found the frag. Once that happened, Long was opened up, and even though they had cat control, sending 4 players up was too much for mousesports, who were unable to trade. Obviously, all in all, it was a costly round. We see mousesports now on a save. Cloud9 up 5-1, giving them the treatment that they gave them on cash.
Yeah, they've completely turned this thing around here. Didn't really expect them to play this good, but they're really turning it on now. And Sean Gares with the MP in hand is able to find 2 in B. Shroud from lower gets 2. Can he make it a third? And he's going to get the third frag on the Gabi. And that is another round for Cloud9 now. We're 6-1 as the North Americans are battling back here, trying to take this map.
America. Yeah, now it's actually a double save situation because of that 5-1 scoreline. Now, we did see Cloud9 only win 4 rounds in a row. mousesports put 1 together, but because the rounds were close before that, prior we saw Nex in that 1v1, it was too costly to be able to buy again, and now mousesports will have to think about next round as opposed to this round. And that's going to leave it at 7-1 most likely, as we haven't seen egos so far.
This read out in the middle, though. Shroud's able to take down Nex. Gob was able to get one onto Sean Gares, or Gabi was able to make that happen. Can nothing stay up? Nothing does. Get Dennis out of the way. We still have Skadoodle right there around the corner. Low on HP. He will get picked up by Gabi. That is going to be good frag. Freakazoid out, and mid's got to avoid that. And I was about to talk about how Cloud9 really speeding this up here, gonna try and catch mousesports off guard. They both did it to each other. I mean, mousesports, as soon as Cloud9 had people on mid, mousesports had 2 people up mid, getting the bomb dropped right there at Suicide.
Okay, now it's Chris J. And nothing. Oh, Chris J finds the rotational kill on nothing, and they were waiting on him. Their plan here to get the bomb back was contingent on nothing getting a lurk frag, and he couldn't do it. Too aware was Chris J, and now they don't really have a lot of options.
Yeah, we had Freakazoid and Shroud left alive versus Speedy, Chris J, and Gabi. And Gabi's got himself that 2K already, as Speedy's going to be down to 65 HP, Chris J at 66. Gabi is going to be at 39. Now they're just going to be holding on here to that bomb, as I said, down and near Suicide. Oh, Speedy hits the first shot on the Freakazoid. Shroud will answer, though, hunting for the frag. He's got about 23 seconds left on the clock here, so he's got some time to work with. He's just trying to figure out where the other CT is. Got to look down mid. He's right there at the double doors, gets spammed a little bit. Can he make the shot happen? If anyone can pull this 1v2, at this point, he's got to get the frags. He doesn't have time to be able to get back to the bomb site. He needs the frags. He'll never make it up catwalk. And I think he's just going to go for safety at this point, save the rifle as he knows he's never making it anywhere. And yeah, he's going to go for the safety play, try and hold on to the gun. But mousesports is going to be able to pick up a round here onto Cloud9. That makes it 6-2.
We've all seen situations like this. A team is getting destroyed. They have 1 round. they're on the CT side, and then they win an eco round all of a sudden. That can really steal back momentum. Look, Chris J and Dennis both have ops. Now, Cloud9 are going to have a bye, but it's really not great. They have a Galil. They've got full nades on one player. Shroud is low on them, and if they don't win this round, they're going to be back on a save. mousesports could put 2 rounds together. So after getting eco'd, it would be devastating for them to lose this rifle round.
Skadoodle, though.
Not looking to let that happen. Opens it up with a 1-kill, a 1-shot kill on Cat, and that was one of the ops down.
Yeah, I mean, that was a little bit more mid-presence coming out there from Cloud9, leaving one player deep back a little bit to watch that, and that's how they got punished last round. They didn't have a good mid-presence. Well, they did, except it was all the way on CT side of mid instead of their own side of mid, and they got punished by those 2 players working up catwalk very, very fast. So adjusting well here is Cloud9, thinking that's going to happen again, and they're able to catch Speedy, trying to get aggressive off the back of Cat, which is going to be a great opener for them and give them that 1-round advantage going into round 9.
Yeah, now Freak is going to be clearing out Cat by himself, and because he has no resistance, they might assume that there's going to be some sort of long control, but now that they're out long, they have control of it. There are no great spots that they need to defend from. God, B's going to take a fight, and he's going to be traded 1-for-1. I don't know if that favors them. Chris J's going to be on the site. He has an op, and he's getting tagged right through the box. So much pressure being put on right now.
And Shroud is right there ready to trade this frag out, but it doesn't matter. Chris J will get the shot. Freakazoid on the trade, and Freakazoid with the secondary frag on the next before nothing goes down to Dennis. It's going to be a 1-on-2 here. And Dennis actually picks up an AK, drops the op. He's going to try and rotate up the catwalk as the bomb's going to be getting planned for long. This might be deadly for Freakazoid here. If Dennis peeks out in time, can he get the shot? He is going to be able to get the shot, but the bomb is going to be down in position for Skadoodle. He's going to smoke, throw a flashbang. Going to throw another flashbang. Skadoodle's got to run up on this bomb. Dennis is able to get on it. Can Skadoodle get the shot to the smoke? Can he get it? Skadoodle gets the hero. The 1-versus-1 clutch for Skadoodle. What an absolute animal making that happen.
Oh my
Cloud9 up 7-2 over mousesports.
When it couldn't have mattered more. The 1v1, oh my goodness. Planning for long in that situation was a huge risk, and that plan was almost destroyed when Freak died as soon as he put the bomb down. That left Skadoodle in 1v1, and he made the heads-up play as actually pushing up to the site as opposed to staying on long plat. If he didn't do that immediately, he might not have been able to get the better of Speedy in that situation and shoot him on the opposite side of that smoke.
Like a little bit of a footsie game here at long. Shroud's able to take down Speedy, though. Avoids taking any real damage there. Actually avoids taking any damage at all. And that's going to make this a 5-on-4 quickly into round 10. And Cloud9 going against the ecoing mousesports. This is the round that they should be able to officially win the half. Get themselves those 8 rounds. The worst they could do at that point is if they happen to lose out somehow to mousesports, beat 8-7.5, which is exactly what they want. Nothing from lower. Be able to pick up a secondary one. Gabi goes down. Same with Chris J. Nothing's going to hunt for a 3K. Gets himself the 3rd. The 4th man will be there at the bottom of lower. He's going to push it, and Nothing's able to secure the 4K for Cloud9. And that's another round in their favor. They've officially won this half now. If they can keep going, you got to add a little bit more butter on that bread. These guys want this map.
Yeah, it's a numerical victory, but at this point, they're doing so well. They just want to keep winning out. And the thing is, I thought that this would be a map where CT sides prevail. Okay, mousesports are a team where there are other teams that play with a heavy amount of strategy, but mousesports is one that plays with a heavy amount of strategy on CT side. They have various setups on CT side that they use on all maps. And so I thought that they would have a great time getting rounds. Now, because Cloud9 have already put up a fantastic CT side, it's going to be really difficult for them to change things. But Nex already comes out with a 2K into this round. With those 2 players rushing B,
we're actually going to have those guys out mid. Nex was able to shut that down. And let's see if they can keep this going here. They do have a 2-man advantage, but the bomb was down in a great neutral location with a player inside the B bomb site right now, just kind of holding right. And I believe that's going to be nothing inside there. Yeah,
he's going for the jump. Oh,
Speedy shuts it down. Dennis will remove Skadoodle. Now we only have nothing inside B. Bomb is down outside B tunnels, and all of mousesports is rotating in this direction. Now finally, the 5th man, here he comes, rotating out of long, so Nothing can go back and get the bomb. I don't know if they saw him cross right there. I'm pretty sure Nex was just on that cross, able to see it. And Nothing's going to actually walk back towards the B bomb site, see if he could sound fake anyone to make them think that he's trying to cross back through G spawn into the A bomb site.
Look at how patiently they're playing right now. Right now, Dennis is actually moving into the site, but Nothing is trying to cross, and they're just watching it. Yeah, they take him down, and that's because Nex put up a very important 2-frag on players rushing. Those some hot shots right there. And
yeah, out mid, that was an amazing shutdown right there. Not allowing those guys to get there, that was great plays.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's the kind of player Nex is. You know, you put a rifle in his hands and he gets the KD of an opper with headshots. to match. So now Cloud9 are on that. You know, they have that Galil. It's going to be a similar vibe to what we saw on a round previous.
Almost hit that. He almost hit that shot on mid. Just tried to spam the shot through the smoke there. Didn't quite work out, but that would have been absolutely amazing to really open it up. And yeah, as you said, Launders, they don't got the best buy here.
No. Now, there's actually players postured over towards long, and we've seen Cloud9 try to take a late long. I think mousesports have tuned into this and are ready for it. So he's going to be, with the assistance of a smoke, sitting out here and anchoring. And now Gob is going to be pushing off Cat as well. So they're looking for information.
Oh, look at the push into upper B, though. They're going to be going right into that, and we do have a terrorist sitting there in the B-tons. That is going to be nothing, just waiting at the stairs. If they get too aggressive here and try and make something happen in mid, nothing might have a good chance to try and pick these up. No, they're actually going to back up away. That is going to be next, and Chris J back on their way back out as here comes the A hit coming out. Speedy's going to be in the pit, able to hit the first one and a secondary one as Shroud finally trades him out. There goes Shroud down to Dennis, but nothing will find some traction out in mid. But the bomb is going to be down long. Nothing's going to grab it off. He sees the guy jump in CT spawn. Can he hit the quick flick off shot? Not able to get it right off the bat. He's got 2 CTs there in his face. Going to try and pick back up his AK. Grabs it. Will rotate back away as we have worked this into a 2-on-2 now.
Oh my goodness. 25 seconds left, and that's the only thing working against Cloud9 right now. Skadoodle has picked up the bomb, but they don't have many options. Now, they know both players are in CT because they were shooting it from either side. That is nothing. And he is going to be jumping across, but the thing is Skadoodle has the bomb and has no way of getting away easily. Now, he's going to be able to pick it up. Will he be able to plant for long plat? That could be a huge play right here. There are actually no nades on the part of the CTs, and Skadoodle finds the frags as well. That might lock it up.
We're going to have Gabi, the last one standing here, 1v2. We're going to be trying to take the initial fight with Skadoodle, and the op of Skadoodle will prevail again. That's going to be 9-3, excuse me, in favor of Cloud9 now. And this is getting a little out of hand for mousesports here. If Cloud9 keeps this going, we will see that map number 3.
Yeah, I mean, that was a round where they had to completely outplay mousesports to win it. The bomb was down in their control, and we have mousesports reacting to nothing at the mid doors when he didn't even have the bomb. Now, he managed to keep 2 players there long enough for Skadoodle to take his 1v1 fight and win it. And once they got the bomb down, they played that 2v2 to perfection.
Yeah, great plays coming out here from Cloud9, especially from Skadoodle with the opposite hands. Freakazoid takes a... No, actually, that was Sean Garris who took the damage to get the frag, and Freakazoid's able to get 2 out of that exchange. It is going against an ecoing mousesports here with some upgraded pistols. We still got a P250, we still got a Deagle, and we still have a 5.7. Chris J doesn't need the 5.7 now after he got the headshot on the nothing. He will pick it up, trade it out for the AK. Freakazoid with a great spray down into CT towards the elevator. Will hit the shot on the next. He's got himself 3, and that just leaves Dennis and Chris J. And Chris J already committed to the save with his AK.
Yeah, now that was another great round so far. They've cleaned up without losing too many members. We're nearing the end of the half here, and Cloud9 have gotten 9 rounds already. At this point, they're not going to be happy unless they get 11, right? That's their kind of quota, I'm sure. Giving up 1 more rifle round wouldn't be the biggest deal in the world for them. And moving into CT side, it's going to be extremely tough. Freak actually entering
he's hunting
into
for
what
the
looks
ace
for
right
an
now.
ace, and he's going to find Chris J right now.
He's gunfight right here. Can he get the ace out of this? Chris J knows that he's been spotted. Can Freakazoid get the ace? Got to get away from the flashbang. Can he get it? Chris J peeks out. Can't get the ace. He will get denied. But it didn't even matter anyways. He just wanted to get the 5K on the round and prevent Chris J from saving the AK. So very close. Only got 4. But Cloud9, though, they're up 10-3 right now. 7 rounds in their favor.
Yeah, absolutely. And still a hero that round, obviously getting 4 kills, 2 entries at least. Now, Cloud9 have 10 rounds to the 3 of mousesports. Can look at a maximum of a 12-3 half. That's extremely impressive. I mean, if they're able to do that, there's pretty much very little hope for mousesports, as the CT side is the side that they need to watch out for. Now, we have 3 players on plat, kind of caught out of position at this point.
That Molotov's going to force the player out of Goose. He's going to have to try and rotate away. Almost getting ripped apart right there. Freakazoid with a great shot on Gabi. And now Speedy quickly trades that back out. But man, Freakazoid's entries right now are helping a ton. Chris J with the op. Great piercing shot to remove nothing. He's going to be completely smoked out. Now here comes the rotates coming in. Speedy's right on top of it. Same with Nex, and Nex will get around. That is actually going to be a 2K for Speedy, a 2K for Nex, and mousesports, great play coming out from them. That makes it 10-4 as we hit the final round of first half.
Yeah, well played by mousesports there. They gave up long control and still managed to figure out how to win that round after Cloud9 were making their way up really, really quickly. And after that recovery, mousesports would want nothing more than to just seal up this half with a 5-10, look towards their T side, and just start over again. With that being said, Cloud9 are definitely in the lead either way.
Yeah.
And have a broken buy, though, to work against. Skadoodle is going to have the lead here, I think.
Yeah, broken by coming out, they had no choice. They had to pay everything they could into this round to get whatever they could to try and make this an 11-4 half. I mean, either way, if it ends up being 10-5, that's still great. 11-4 would be even better for you, give you even more room to work with. They just need to keep the momentum going through the end of this half and try and carry that all the way into the beginning of the next half, and hopefully have no issues closing this game out.
Yeah, everybody wants to see a map 3. No bias there.
Yeah.
Yeah, Chris Day is going to be holding off the cat. We've seen this before, but even when they play too long, Cloud9 have managed to get some kind of favorable trade situation. But because the equipment value is so drastically in mousesports' favor, that might not be the case this time.
Ooh,
Chris Day is going to take an op shot. He's actually going to fall off now after doing some damage.
He got a leg right there on the Skadoodle, almost punished him for trying to come up behind his own teammate. So now we're going to have Shroud sitting with that scout, trying to get an angle out, trying to shoulder peek, see if anyone's going to be working towards heaven right now. And it doesn't look like anybody is going towards elevator. Wow, I forgot what map I was on.
Elevator.
Calling nuke all of a sudden. But yeah, trying to make their way out. Gabi is going to be right there, able to take down Shroud. Chris J gets the op shot off. Skadoodle does get one. Speedy on the trade out. There goes Sean Garrett. Now it's all up to Skadoodle. Able to hit another shot. That's a 2K and a 3K for him. Can he do this? He has the bomb on his back. He's 1v2 now. 16 HP. Initial players coming up. Catwalker now. I don't think he's going to get off the bomb in time. And he couldn't do it. Woo. Dennis will close it out. That could have been some more heroics coming from Skadoodle right there with the 3.
I started sweating 3 rounds in, but I sweat about twice as much in those last few moments.
But that's a good half. Either way you look at it for Cloud9, 10-5 will be the score.
Yeah.
That's much better. That's a vast improvement off of what we saw from Cash. If they can keep the momentum going here, I mean, it's going to be a little bit of a shift as the mousesports was able to get some rounds in a row there at the end. But Cloud9 really needs to keep going with the way they're shooting. And I mean, you're letting Skadoodle absolutely go off right now. If Skadoodle continues to shoot that way, just let him go. Let him do his thing. Let him be free and just dominate.
And again, after that, 16-4 Cash map, it might have looked bleak coming into this for Cloud9, but for them to get 10 rounds on T side and have this like really solid setup, I think they figured it out on the CT side. I mean, I hate to compare apples and oranges, and that is comparing two teams that have very different play styles. But even from the perspective of individual skill, like Na'Vi have mousesports beat. And Na'Vi could not figure out how to break the defenses of Cloud9.
Yeah.
So coming into this half, with or without the pistol, they're going to feel great. But without the pistol, mousesports are going to be able to almost equalize, and that runs a risk for them. So as much as I'd like to say this 10 rounds is enough, it might not be.
Yeah, it's going to be tough either way, but I think this is the best. I mean, it could have been better. Of course, you could have won a 15-0. You could have done a 14-1. That could have happened. That could be the best. But the way the rounds went, this is the best possible chance Cloud9 has. And it's a much, much more amazing step forward from what we saw in map number 1.
Yeah, well, nothing. Pushing all the way up mid right now is going to be spotting. Greenbox going to take a fight with Chris J. Actually wins that battle. That's huge. And now the pressure is put on Long. Skadoodle will push all the way back to elbow. And is good.
Man. Gets deep, though, in the exchange, though. Goes all the way down to 5 HP. Nothing gets picked off. Freakazoid up the catwalk, trying to fight it out with the player. That's going to be Nex right there. Nex actually does go down to Skadoodle. So with only 5 HP, peeking those corners, as Freakazoid only has 1. Bomb has not been planted yet, but they're going to get flanked up catwalk. They need to turn around and take this fight. Somebody needs to get on top of Dennis and not allow him to just be a nuisance right there. But there goes Skadoodle out of the way, thanks to Speedy. They're going to try and push up on the bomb side a little bit. Shroud does take down Gabi. Speedy's able to remove Sean Garrett. They're going to turn this into a 2-on-2 here. Low on HP will be Freakazoid with Shroud still up at 100. They're going to take a safer plant position, though. They will get it down. Freakazoid will be your entry man once again. Low on HP, trying to get out there. Shroud will hit the shot on the desk. Can they get another pistol in their favor? Speedy's still up. Can he fight it out? Low, both players having to go on a reload. Speedy so very low. 31 HP can... Oh my goodness, can Shroud finally hit the shot just above the box? Inside the side, you can't get it! Speedy will steal it away, gets himself the 4K. I can't believe there were so many chances there for Shroud to get that.
Oh my god, the issue of crouch spamming, am I right? No, but he played that box really well, and Shroud tried to be just as patient. He didn't have cover, he was out in the open, and he had to really, really shoot with confidence there, but couldn't manage to land that last frag. And from a 5v4 situation, it did come down to a 1v1. Cloud9 did lose it, and now are definitely not going to be sleeping. I know they didn't feel comfortable to kick it off. mousesports, they have a lot of respect for, and we've seen that in the way that they played against them, and the fact that they've 16-4 them on cash just now, but it's a new map, and Cloud9 still have a lead, and actually not opting to buy here. We're just going to be looking to win on the rifle rounds because their strength is in having that op on Scoodle and having that anchor at long with nades.
Yeah, let's see if they can work the pistols here. I mean, they can use these pistols effectively, try and steal away some of these guns. I mean, there's 2 AKs on the board right now. It would be great to get some frags on those AKs. And it's going to be out mid. Skadoodle's able to hit the first shot. He's able to grab a UMP. Does he go for the repeat here? Next, he knows he's right there, trying to spam anyone through the door. Next is going to go for it. Does he go on the repeat? No. Still a teammate there. Skadoodle will have to back up after Next is able to take down Freakazoid. And Sean Garris, he's going to get spotted by Dennis. Again, get taken down inside that B bomb site. That's going to leave Skadoodle and Shroud. Skadoodle tries to step up with that UMP, doesn't get anything out of it. Here comes Shroud on the rotate into lower, and Speedy picks him up. So guns will prevail here in the hands of mousesports. But Cloud9 had some close opportunities there. Next was low, Speedy was really low. I mean, if they could have got Next right there in the doorway, that would have been a free AK.
Yeah, he did a fantastic job on that door, getting those 2 headshots. I mean, I think it might have looked aggressive peeking for that second kill, but that really solidified the round right there. That was a really nice play from him. And Scoodle getting that UMP, I was really fearing for mousesports in that round, but as soon as Next got that second kill, it felt like it was over for sure. So now Cloud9 are going to be on that second save again. It was a full eco from them, so they might have wished they bought armor there, but at the same time can look forward to being able to buy next round everything that they want. And there's going to be a 4-stack over towards long, and this really doesn't look like a threat to mousesports, who are stacked up in tunnels.
Yeah, mousesports made the right call here initially. Let's see if they continue to work with this, though. We're trying to find out if there's a stack somewhere. They haven't really spotted anyone, so they're just kind of waiting this one out to find out what Cloud9 is going to be doing. They know it's a stack, they just don't know where the stack is. So they're going to get up into the B-bomb site, try and clear this thing out. And they're looking for that Lone Ranger there. That's going to be Sean Garris. He will go down. That's going to leave Skadoodle, Freakazoid, Shrouded, nothing left on a 4-man rotate. No reason not to rotate into this one. I mean, you got 5.7s, P250s. Might as well go for it here. And they do have a man coming on a very deep flank. And wonder, he's going to be able to get himself a gun, so that's where I'm going to take him out of this. The Shroud has to hit these shots, though, onto Chris J. That could be an op for them, but it's not going to happen. Actually, a scout, excuse me. But either way, Chris J will get it with the Rec 9, and this will be a secured round for mousesports.
Yeah, I mean, obviously a great play there, just hitting B, just like we saw Sean Garris do with Cloud9 in the first half versus those eco rounds. I think they saw the lack of armor last round and felt that it was going to be another full eco with possible stack into this one, and they were correct about that. So now mousesports are 2 away from equalizing, but mousesports have their first buy of the half. Now, if they do lose this round, they're probably going to have to save. If they do win it, mousesports won't have to save. So Cloud9, in that regard, still have a lot of work to do and are not out of the woods yet.
They're only going to be down by 2 rounds now. mousesports has brought this back decently close. But Cloud9 back onto a full buy. They got the op in the hands of Skadoodle. Look at this 2-man stack. They're going to fast cat right now. And it's going to be fast out mid, though, already for one of the mousesports players. That's going to be Next, all the way out mid towards CT side. He's going to get a flank up, and they have no idea that he's there yet. Freakazoid not even looking in that direction. He will get taken down. So now Next out in mid, causing a ton of trouble here as Nothing's able to pick up Dennis, though. They're not going to allow him into the site. Nothing's able to get himself 3 frags on that round. And they have locked down the B bomb site. Bomb is going to be dropped. And now it's all up to Chris J with 11 HP and Speedy with 100. And this round is looking unwinnable at this point.
Wow, I was looking left and right and seeing all these frags happen, all these players getting way into positions that they shouldn't be getting, and thinking Mouse have the confusional advantage. They try to take advantage of it. Here, Speedy actually jumped off Cat. He's in CT. This round isn't over yet, even though Chris J is low, but they're gonna rely on Speedy to get a frag here, and it looks like he's doing some damage to Skadoodle. Actually takes him down, but is low now, and it's kind of in the same spot as Chris J, so Chris J might move out and try to equalize.
Yeah, Speedy's going to make the smart play here. He's going to grab the op, try and run away. No one is going to contest that, so he will be able to get away with that op. He's going to be able to give that to Chris J. So Chris J now getting a little aggressive here, wanting to try and find himself a different gun because he is going to get dropped that op. So if he could get an AK that he could drop back to one of his teammates, that would be a really good save for him to make happen here. But and not looking like he's going to have too much luck with that.
And in the midst of all the confusion, Jordan Nothing Gilbert gets 3 frags in the B site. I mean, if he wasn't able to do that, Oh, and a fourth here.
Yeah, got himself the 4th K now.
Yeah, he took the round into his own hands and won it in the situation where Cloud9 would have had to save if not for it. Now, they didn't actually find an op. I wonder if they'll be able to rebuy one, and it looks like not quite. So they're going to be relying on rifles here. It's going to be up against another buy of mousesports, as we talked about, but Speedy is going to have an op on himself. Will he trade that to Tris J? I wonder if he will. Sometimes we see the player. Oftentimes we see the player who picks up the op, even if they aren't the opper for the team, just keep it. It's like one of the wow, pick through the door.
And he makes it work for himself. That wasn't even through the door, nonetheless. That was clean down, and that's a great opener there. So apparently that's why Speedy kept the op, because he's going to get that one shot right down mid, drop the gun back to Chris J, and it works out. So great opener here coming from mousesports. They're able to hit that op shot. Now they're going to slow this thing down a little bit, and except for Gabi all the way up the catwalk already, but the smoke is going to prevent him from really being able to spill out with his teammate and that bomb. And a great touchdown grenade comes in from him to remove Freakazoid from the round. So we will be 5 versus 3. Oh. mousesports going to try and get this thing back to tied. And I mean, Shroud goes down right there to Gabi also. So this is great for them. It's just Skadoodle and Sean Garrett's left. They're going to pushing out mid. Next is able to take down Skadoodle. Sean Garrett will get the trade out frag. And he's going to be 1 versus 4 with the bomb planted in the A bomb site. And at this point, he doesn't want to go for this. He just wants to hold on to this AK. Their economy already wasn't very good. But Gabi's going to go out the push, and Gabi will clear out lower, gets the frag, and that makes it 11-9 in favor of Cloud9.
What an enormous round from Gob. Hit that one tap, killed a player at Goose, pushed through a smoke, took all the right risks, and made the most of it. Now, I think we have a game on our hands. We got mousesports buying everything that they want, and Cloud9 are pretty much at the worst place they could be economically. Jordan has, or excuse me, Nothing has $5 grand he could buy, but is not going to. Instead, they're going to have to save and think about future rounds, but they really got picked apart there. And it was also a round where they only had 5 rifles, so that might have made a difference, but even still, because they didn't win it, have to save, and that's all she wrote.
Yeah, so we're into round of 21. No frags have come out yet for either team here until just right now when Nex is able to pick up 2 with the AK both headshots. Nothing, Sean Garrett's out of the way. Gabi's going to force his way up into the A-bomb site. There goes Freakazoid. There goes Shroud, so it's just Skadoodle left alive. Out in mid with the silent USP now. A-bomb site has been taken, so Skadoodle just going to be lorded down and lower, and he's able to get one on the Speedy, but Dennis is there to trade the frag. mousesports has brought this back within 1 now. And this is getting dangerous here for Cloud9. Ever since first half, they've only got 1 round.
Yeah, I was just peering at that $7 grand on Nothing there, and it's turned into an off for Skadoodle. So even though people are going to be relatively light, I mean, Shroud can basically afford a swag if he wants to, or just grab a FAMAS. And yeah, now they do have a pretty light buy. I mean, they've only got 2 smokes, so they can only delay and execute for only so long, and they're going to have to rely on excellent sight holds and also the ops of Skadoodle. But it's going to be a fast beat.
They're going to get their way out immediately. Dennis is able to take down Sean Garrett. Nothing with the trade out, though. Can't get more than 1, as Nex will punish him inside that B-bomb site. And we're going to be 3 on 4 now. We'll get some op shots through the smoke to make it back in their favor, or at least tie it up man-wise. But no, it doesn't look like it's going to happen here. We're going to have to do a 3-man retake attempt. Otherwise, mousesports is going to be able to tie this thing up at 11-11. They're going to know Shroud's there. Should have been spotted from behind. Yeah, now he makes some spray damage. He's going to get caught out in the open here. Chris J's going to be all over him. Can't hit the shot, though, with the P250, and that's going to give him time. But yes, he will collect it as Gabi takes down Freakazoid. Skadoodle tries to rotate out, but Dennis will catch him outside the doors, and that's mousesports tying this thing up 11-11.
No, that's not only a tie at this point. They've got 6 rounds in this half. Cloud9 only have 1. They've only proven themselves once so far and have had to save every other round. Apart from losing a pistol, it's all resulted in the score as it is. And now they're back on that save once again. And I can't stress this enough. If you lose rounds in succession, then you're only going to have half of the rifle rounds that you would have if you won maybe 1 or 2 in a row. So if they don't keep that streak up, they're not going to give themselves enough chances to figure out how to beat mousesports on the T side. And with a straight up rush B, I think that was the perfect call from Gob. It made a lot of sense, and they really, really caught them off guard.
Getting aggressive down in mid here. Let's see, Nex is right there. Sean Garrett is able to take down Dennis, but Nex can't get away from Nothing. And Chris J is going to be at the top mid right now, all by himself down low on HP. Only 6. His teammate with the bomb is actually rotating away from him. They're going to try and take the A-bomb site as the rest of Cloud9 is trying to push up on Chris J. They finally get him down after he removes Sean Garrett. Also, Freakazoid will get the trade out frag, though. That will be an op picked up by Freakazoid. They're That's going to go to Skadoodle as Shroud's trying to prevent the bomb plant from going. They do have a 4-on-2 here as the bomb is going to get planted in A. Looks like they're split up a little bit. They're going to send somebody up, back up catwalk, 2 up catwalk, 2 down through CT to try and make this round happen in their favor. They want to win this lead back as Gabi is able to take down nothing. There goes Shroud and Freakazoid. It's all up to Skadoodle now. He does have the op. Can he 1v2? Doesn't have a kit though, so no time really to get onto this one. Ton of time was burned there by mousesports, and that's mousesports grabbing a 12th round now. Score will be 12-11.
Oh my goodness. On that eco round, it was a 5v2 situation. They had Chris miss like 3 or 4 shots at top mid, and they took forever to trade him out. And by that time, they pushed up long, they got the bomb down, they played it at 2v4, and they smoked off Cat, and Cloud9 were running around in circles. It looked like a lot of confusion. It honestly looked bad, and I hate to see it, but that was a full eco, and even though it was a full eco, they should have won it, and I'm sure they weren't happy with the way they played that round out.
No, not at all right there. That should have been another round that Cloud9 should have been able to get. As you said, if they would have been a little bit more aggressive and sped up mid a little bit more, that could have been the op way quicker in the hands of the Skadoodle or Freakazoid, and then possibly leak that thing back out through long and caught those guys trying to go up the ramp as you have Shroud trying to contest on the catwalk. But it didn't work out that way. A little too slow. mousesports is now up by 1 round, and this was a game that we were looking at, again, another situation where Cloud9's got the advantage going out of first half, and it's faltering now. They're not able to close this thing out. I mean, they've only got 1 round so far. mousesports has regained the lead. They're getting aggressive out long. Speedy's able to hit 2. Skadoodle will take down Dennis, but Shroud and Skadoodle both out of the way. That's going to leave Freakazoid on the rotate over up into ramp. And it's quickly getting out of hand back in favor of mousesports here. They have that 1-man advantage. Speedy with 2 already. And Cloud9 desperately needs to get some frags here.
Oh my goodness. Now they're waiting on Chris J, who has the op inside of B, and we have nothing here, just sitting at mid, waiting for a cat push. But Chris is going to find one in CT, takes out Sean Garris, and reduces their hopes of winning that round drastically. At this point, nothing could try to cut off the bomb. He actually is in a position to do so. They don't know where he is, but they're throwing great